Morning. There we go. There I am, and it sounds very loud. He's talking.
Now it is. Voila.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Mine seems louder, but very loud. Off.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know what that was, so I picked it up and spilled it.
Oh,
I
it's
know
okay.
you-
It was just some extra ashes.
I know what it was, I figured, what is this? And zoom, they were everywhere.
Oh, I'm
So-
sorry.
So
I
I
hope it
just,
didn't.
I cleaned them up. I cleaned them up as I could.
Sorry, I shouldn't have left them there.
I know, this doesn't look familiar.
Well, at least they're black.
It's all right. I just stand where he tells me. Oops.
That was awful. There were notifications. Notifications. There we go.
Now, hello, friends. Welcome to Ash Wednesday. We're going to start in just a few minutes. I'm noticing a trend here and was wondering, I'm going to make the invitation that if you'd like to come further forward, that would be wonderful. Because if not, Tracy and I are going to be awfully lonely up here. So come on down. We're not going to make you do anything you don't want to do, but let's bring the family in closer. Well, good afternoon, and welcome to our time of reflection for Ash Wednesday. It's the first day of the Lenten season. It's also Valentine's Day. And so glad that you are here with us. And we also have folks who are joining us online. We're thankful that you are with us as well. This season brings with it a lot of imagery, a lot of opportunity, a lot of chance for us to pause and to breathe, to reflect upon our lives, upon our world, upon our journey and our journeys. And our hope is that this simple time together today will be meaningful for you in a meaningful way to enter into the season. It is one of those seasons that often brings with it perhaps a bit of doom and gloom and soot and ash and all of those things that are meant to remind us of our mortality. And those are important images and powerful images to help remind us of that. But ultimately, those images are not just meant to be somber. They're also an invitation more deeply into the experience of the love that is within our mortality, and the love that surrounds us, and the love that continues to travel with us through seasons that are reflective and repentant, and seasons where we are celebrating with glee and with gladness. So as you participate in this time with us today, our hope is that there will be both of those parts of the dance that you experience. The fact that we are dust, and also that we are stardust, and that we are God's beloveds. So to that end, you were given a couple of things as you walked in. One is a card that says Ash Wednesday. There are more in the narthex if you didn't receive one. This is simply a guide for you that you can refer to throughout the season in any ways that you might find meaningful. There's an introduction to the Lenten season. There's some personal reflection questions that you may want to visit and revisit as you move through the days of Lent. And then also there's a psalm on the back that could even be an ongoing prayer for you throughout the season as well. You were also handed at least one little blank sheet of paper, and we'll be using that in just a few moments during our reflection time, and I'll say more about that when the time comes. But the one thing I realized as I moved most of you up to the seats is that you need something to write with. So here are pencils, and I'll just go ahead and Barbara will very graciously send those around so that you have something to write with as you're reflecting. But as we now step into a day that is both known as Ash Wednesday and also a day that's both known as Valentine's Day, here we are to consider, to reflect upon, to embrace our full humanity, and to be met by the love that has given us our humanity, the love that journeys with us through all of our most human times and through those times that feel much more divine than human. And what we experience more often than not is the combination of both of those. So as we follow this 40-day journey of Lent, which mirrors both the ancient Israelites' 40-year journey through their wilderness, Jesus and those 40 days in his own wilderness, invite us now to enter into our time of reflection and worship together. And we'll do that first with our call to worship.
Stop. Let go of the rush, the noise, the busyness, the stress.
We come to you, our Prince of Peace.
Breathe. Take in grace and mercy. Release guilt and shame.
We come to you, our beloved lover.
Listen to the voice of the wind whispering in the silence.
We come to you, our still small voice. May we find rest and peace. Our song of invitation is "Come and Fill Our Hearts with Your Peace." And this is a song from the Taizé tradition, which means we will sing this refrain several times through. And the invitation, as always, is to allow these simple words to enter our minds and then gradually to descend down into our hearts. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Alleluia. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Alleluia. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Alleluia. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Alleluia. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Alleluia. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Alleluia. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Alleluia. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Alleluia.
A reading from the 32nd Psalm. Happiness comes from having your rebellion taken away, from having your failure completely covered. Happiness comes from Yahweh not counting your mistakes, from having nothing to hide. As long as I kept my stubborn silence, my bones grew weak because of my constant complaints. Day and night your hand was heavy upon me. My strength was sapped by a summer's heat. Finally, I admitted my sin to you and stopped hiding my guilt. I said, I confess my rebellion, Yahweh, and you took away the guilt of my sin. That's why people of faith everywhere should pray to you. They'll find you. Even when the flood begins rising, it will never touch them. You are my hiding place. You protect me from trouble and surround me with songs of freedom.
Do you ever have one of those days? One of those days? When even as you're trying to rub the sleep out of your eyes and stretch your limbs and somehow will your body from horizontal to vertical just to be able to eventually get onto your feet and rise and enter into the new day. And it's so challenging to do so because there is so much weighing you down, literally, figuratively, emotionally, relationally. There's so much that's happening around you, happening within you, that it's hard to even imagine taking one step forward into the day. Well, I have those days. I imagine you probably do in your own version of that. And for many years, I responded to those feelings and to that weight by blaming myself and shaming myself. If I'd only eaten more healthily, if only I had exercised more, if only I had been more intentional with those challenges in my life, if only I had reached out to that person one more time, if only I had gotten to the place where I could forgive myself for that. If only, if only, if only. And the blame connects in with a deeper shame. And I've come to realize now in my almost 60s, how much of that I have simply done to myself. Now, there are things that happen to us in our lives that weigh us down, no doubt about that. But so often, when I feel like I'm carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders, more times than not, the world hasn't put it there. I'd like to extend an invitation to each of us today for the Lenten season to recognize that, or even to take some time to pause and reflect and open ourselves to recognizing the ways that that's happened in our lives, the ways that we have put weight upon ourselves that we were never intended to bear in those ways. That, to me, is an invitation to the reflection that comes with this season, is to be able to recognize those aspects of our lives. And rather than responding by heaping even more blame upon ourselves, simply to acknowledge it and to admit it to ourselves and to admit it to our Creator, to own it, if you want to use modern psychological language, to own it so that we can release it, knowing that releasing is not a once for all. Peter Gabriel has a great song called Love to be Loved, and he uses all the different entendres of that phrase. And in the middle section, he said, I'm facing this old familiar craving. I've been here before, this way of behaving. I don't know who the hell I'm saving anymore. Let it pass, let it go, let it leave. From this deepest place I grieve. This time I believe, and I let go, and I let go, and I let go. And I can't let go of it. Maybe that's another invitation to reflect, to acknowledge, to release, knowing that we'll most likely need to release it again. And that's okay, because that's part of the yin and yang, the ebb and flow of this journey. Today's maybe the first step in this season of that releasing, that letting go. And to experience even just a taste of that freedom that comes as we let go. So I invite you in these next few moments to take, you can take this guide if it helps you and read through some of those questions to ponder. And I wouldn't just immediately start writing stuff, although there may already be stuff that you're ready to get out and release. That's great. But I invite you to take even just a few moments to breathe. Just take a few slow, deep breaths. And then from there, allow what comes into your mind to come in. And then you can write it out, or you can draw it, or you can express it in whatever way is most meaningful for you. And as you have that chance to reflect and then to express, Tracy will be playing softly on the piano, and then we'll come back together and sing a song of blessing. And once we sing our blessing, I'll invite you to come back out to the narthex towards the entrance and exit doors. And you probably saw there is still hopefully a fire burning in my barbecue. Yes, that is my barbecue. And you have a chance to do something physical that is also deeply symbolic. Take whatever you wrote out or drew and place it on the fire and let it go. And then to receive the gift of ashes on your forehead if you so choose. That reminder that we are dust and that we are stardust. So now let's take a few moments, reflect individually together. Once we sing our blessing, the Baroka, together, invite you to pause for a few more moments and give Barbara and I a chance to head to the back of the sanctuary. And then at a time of your choosing, we invite you to come back, and if you would like to place your prayers onto the fire and receive the ashes upon your forehead. But feel free to stay in this space as long as you would like. It's open and welcome for you. May the blessing of God be upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart, now and forevermore. May the blessings of God be upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart, now and forevermore. May the blessings of God be upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart, now and forevermore. May the blessings of God be upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart, now and forevermore. May the blessings of God be upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart, now and forevermore. May the blessings of God be upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart, now and forevermore. May the blessings of God be upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart, now and forevermore. May the blessings of God be upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart, now and forever.